What's up, Drop Pod listeners? You can check out new episodes of the Drop Podcast every Tuesday and Thursday, wherever you listen to podcasts. You can find all of our content on YouTube at the Drop Golf Podcast and on our socials. That's Instagram and Twitter at the Drop_pod. No matter how you consume us, like, subscribe, rate, review, all that good stuff. Follow and listen along.
This episode is brought to you by All County Exteriors. Discover the excellence of All County Exteriors, a third-generation leader in premier exterior home remodeling, proudly celebrating over 40 years of success. While most remodeling companies last just 5 years, All County Exteriors has withstood the test of time, consistently delivering top-quality roofing, siding, windows, and doors. Their expertise extends from small repairs to large additions, serving homeowners and builders alike. More than just a construction company, All County Exteriors is deeply committed to community service, proudly supporting organizations such as the Make-A-Wish Foundation, the American Cancer Society, Roofs for Troops, and Parents of Autistic Children. If you have planned to do any exterior remodeling, call the experts at All County Exteriors for a free, no-obligation estimate for your project. Just call 732-370-2780 or email them at info@allcountyonline.com. That's 732-370-2780 for All County Exteriors for all your remodeling needs. This is the Drop Podcast where we talk golfing from the Garden State. I'm Mike Poro, and this is Ryan Coulott.
What's up, Drop Pod people? How you doing this week? Welcome back. Episode 85 coming at you. Fast and Furious this week. If you have not been keeping up with us, we made some major changes last week, Mike, 2 weeks ago now?
2 weeks ago. This is week
2
number
weeks
3.
ago. This is week 3. So I think we can say this, and maybe we'll be done saying this, but we made some changes to the schedule. Monday, Magic Mike Content Mondays. That's Mike stuff coming out, whether it's a Mike verse or whatever Mike's got, he's doing it on Mondays. On Tuesdays is our episode. So today is May 21st. It's episode 85. You got Mike and I coming at you here. You can also go out, check out our episode on YouTube as well. And again, all of our content lives on YouTube as well, so you can check our stuff out over there. Wednesday is Ryan's Content Wednesday. And again, Mike, we got to do a better job finding a name for that. But we got my content coming out on Wednesday.
Wacky Wednesday with Ryan.
We'll find something there. But my content's coming out on Wednesday. Thursdays, we are doing our interviews. We've had interviews every episode this year, and we're going to continue that as long as we go through. If we don't have a guest for that week, we'll tell you in Tuesday's episode, and Thursday we'll roll out with something that we have, whether it's some content or just leaving it blank as far as no episode or no interview goes. So that's what we got Thursday, and then Friday is Fun Friday. So that was our schedule update. So again, Mike is on Mondays.
I got to add something to that.
Okay.
Because I want to touch on the schedule update a little bit here because I'm a man of the numbers, and I know that I can overwhelm people with the numbers because, like I say a lot, numbers matter. So we thought about this idea about let's go split the episode, and now that we're kind of 3 weeks into this little puppy and this experiment, I want to provide data that backs up why we've done this and how it's making sense. So, and this is probably news to you, Rye, because I have not shared this with you because I just literally just have kind of gathered it as I've gone. But comparatively speaking, from May, where we are right now, through this 3 weeks, compared to last April, our downloads are up 74%. 74%. With us now in the Golfer Gang Network as well, within just the month of May, and again, it's still young, it's still early, we have the most downloads in the entire network. So, not for nothing. I know that sometimes people may not like change or it may not make sense. Well, give me some data, give me some numbers. Well, there are the numbers. We are up 74% in downloads from last month to this month, and we're not even frankly done this month. And we lead the Golfer Gang network with most downloads.
So for those that were wondering why we did it, there's a method to the madness here. So that's that would be why. That there's part of it is a numbers game for sure. And quite frankly, some people thought that having both in one episode, if Mike and I ramble on for 45 minutes and then we have a 45-minute interview, quite frankly, some of you said an hour and a half is too long to listen to. So we decided to split it up, and that's kind of our goal times there for both of those, half hour to 45 minutes. But now if it's split, you might be able to finish that in your car ride to work. You might be able to, maybe you're doing laundry, folding stuff, listen to us. That's a time where you can do that. So that's kind of the idea that we went here, that we're going to try to, make things, try to improve, try to get better. And the numbers thus far through 2 weeks have backed it up.
Numbers
so
don't
go back.
lie.
No, you always say it. Numbers don't lie. I couldn't care less about the numbers, but that's why I got you, right?
Teamwork makes the dream work, baby.
It certainly does. So Monday, yesterday, the May 20th, Mike came out with Mike's verse, The Rose, the new golf course in Old Bridge. We've been talking about it. We're going to get deep into it this episode. So if you didn't go check it out, go check out Mike verse, The Rose at Old Bridge. Came out yesterday. Today's Tuesday, episode 85. Again, you can go check it out on YouTube as well. Wednesday, we got a big week this week. It's not just a Ryan's verse. It is a 3 with me. I went down and played Tidewater again. I got to go play there over going back to spring break. I was able to get down there for a little bit. Played Tidewater, did a 3 with me. I have nothing but good things to say about that place, Mike. It is really, really a special, special place. I don't have enough positive things to say from the golf course is special. It really is. You just go with the golf course, and it's a tremendous layout. The views are spectacular. The whole thing, the intricacies of there's subtleties in the greens that you don't see. Those things. You've said it, the little things matter, and the little things are there at that place. It is spectacular. And then you add in that stereotypical Southern hospitality. The people there are tremendously friendly. They're accommodating. They're open to us. I mean, it's a special place. It really is. So this week we take a look at my ending holes. First time I figured we did the ending of the front 9. This time we did the ending of the back 9. So holes 16, 17, and 18 coming out this week. And I know you haven't seen it, heard it, we haven't talked about it yet. I think you're going to be in for a real treat, Mike, for this week. And then Thursday we have Chester and Eric, the winners of the New Jersey 4-ball held at Hollywood. Again, big shout out to everyone who pushed our episode. We had Brian Doherty on to talk about the golf course, to talk about the setup of it. Mike, you and I went into it for a long time. That was a huge help, and that's kind of a big going to be a theme on this show as well. But Chester and Eric won the tournament, so we were able to get them on. I was able to sit down with them, talk to them for 45 minutes or so, and it was a great interview. They're really unique guys. They got a great story, and it was a fun interview. They're two really down to earth guys that were just a lot of fun. So from not very well known names in the Garden State, they defeated some big time names. Mike Brown and Pat Wilson and some guys that we've had on before too. These are two guys, again, I almost want to say up and coming as a duo here in the state of golf. So really fun interview, and that'll be coming out on Thursday.
Are you looking for the perfect place to tee it up this season? Or just looking for a great spot for casual comfort food? Or how about the most picturesque backdrop for the wedding of your dreams? Then you need to go visit Galloping Hill Golf Course in Kenilworth, New Jersey, conveniently located in Union County, right off exit 138 on the Garden State Parkway. Galloping Hill encompasses over more than 270 beautiful acres. It was again ranked in the top 10 of best public golf courses in New Jersey. Galloping Hill also offers a top 50 in the country learning center with 52 stalls and a 45,000 square foot practice area. In addition to a 9-hole course that is ranked in the top 10 of short courses in the entire country, Galloping Hill is more than just golf. The Hill Tavern Bar and Grill is a gastropub with seasonal food and beer options updated regularly with amazing views of the course. Hosting over 100 golf outings and over 400 social events per year, their catering team consistently wins awards each year from the Knot and the Wedding Wire. Schedule a tour for your special event at the clubhouse at gallopinghill.com. It's all happening this year at Galloping Hill Golf Course.
Mike, I just kind of touched upon it. I want to start here. You and I are getting the fortunate opportunity to go down to Union League National, a place we were fortunate enough to go visit last fall. But we're going down again this week to go play and preview it before the New Jersey Mid-Am, which is coming up. And we're going to do the same kind of thing we did for Hollywood. You know, we're going to play the course. We're going to get to talk about the course. We're going to talk to some people there, sit down with some people, and just really have a day there. And I do want to say it's thanks to the people that pushed out our Hollywood episode. You know, we have this this desire, like our mission statement is to talk all things golfing in the Garden State, and we talked about the New Jersey 4 ball. We kind of previewed it, and people liked that episode, and we thank you for that. So we're trying to do it again for the Mid-Am here down in Union League. So same kind of thing coming up next week that we'll be talking about, and that'll be next week, and next week's guest will be Jacob Hoffer from down there. So that's kind of a little preview of what's coming up next week.
Yeah, I mean, to kind of echo that, I mean, what we've been able to do here is behind the scenes is partner up more or less with the NJSGA and provide a different way to preview the upcoming NJSGA major. And I think I can't tell you how many people had commented to me at the 4 ball about, that was an unbelievable interview. We listened to the whole thing. We loved it. It was whether I was finishing my round, whether I was on the driving range, whether I was frankly in my car ready to leave. I had someone knock on the window to tell me, hey, that interview was phenomenal. So it really helped. So I went back to Kevin and I said, hey, listen, I think we have something here. I think not only does your preview provide, kind of like the written form of things and kind of touches upon that aspect of the tournament, but we're able to sit down with, Jacob this time, and he's the general manager of Union League National, and kind of pick his brain about what's going on. So, this is a new thing that we're diving into because the reception has been so warm. And listen, I just think that's another thing when you're talking golfing in the Garden State. This is a perfect thing for us to do if we're able to highlight it. And again, people are welcoming and they're allowing us to do it. So, I'm appreciative of Kevin for, partnering with us for this and for Union League and Jacob to open up their doors to allow us to do this. So again, just like it's more content, it's more fun, it's more everything when it comes to what we're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. And, back to the place where 3 with Me was born. So that was coming full circle with some things this week. So that's next week. So stay tuned there. Again, we'll be pushing that out as we go through. Mike, I think you got some big news on the front here. You want to share that with some people? Yeah.
So I know I teased this probably about a month or so ago about the Drop Pod Polos edition 2.0 coming out. And boy, oh boy, are they here. I just got off the phone recently with Chris Payne of Fluke Apparel Company about, do we have an update? Where do things sit? And they're here. And you'll start to see them Memorial Day weekend. We're pushing them out. It's perfect timing for, a nice Memorial Day. Here they come. It's starting to get warm. Father's Day is right around the corner. And, like a lot of things, when you're putting things together, trying to find the right logo that looks the best on the right kind of design of a shirt. Listen, I always thought it was easy. Take the shirt, plop a logo on it, and it was done. And frankly, it's just not that simple. It's a process, and I'm a very detailed oriented kind of person, if you didn't know that by now. And I kind of was going back and forth with Chris, making sure that not only did the logo look good, but it was on the right type of shirt as well. And I think we've kind of nailed it here, because I thought last time it was, maybe a little bumpy in terms of figuring some sizing issues out, but I think we've remedied that problem. And we got our new logo on the shirt. So it's not the same thing. It's 3 different colored shirts. It's more of a striped shirt. I listen, I think they're sharp. You can guarantee your bottom dollar. If you see me out playing golf, I'll probably be wearing one of those 3 shirts quite often. And on Magic Mike Mondays, you'll probably see that shirt on me a lot. So listen, you got to stay tuned. I'll be pushing them when they get released on Chris's website. But stay tuned, because again, just like last year, these things kind of flew off his website with not many sizes left at the very, very end.
No, and I will say, Mike does all that in the background. He sends me a picture or two, or what do you think of this, or asks me some ideas. But I don't want to say I'm not involved, but Mike's doing the running with this. And when he showed me the final result, he sent me a picture. They're sexy looking. They really are. So again, you guys know my problem was the sizing last year, and as you said, we got that remedied. So I'm really looking forward to it. I can't wait to be rocking them as well. They look phenomenal, and they're going to feel phenomenal because, well, quite frankly, Mike's not settling for anything less than the best, and that he's a Grayson guy, and these are going to feel Grayson-esque for sure. And Mike, quite frankly, I've talked to some people, and I'm sure you have too. They all loved the material last year. They really did. They were like, they're soft, they're comfortable, they're stretchy. Again, it's just a matter of whether they could be culotte sized or not. So I can't wait.
Which
can't
isn't easy. No offense, it's not easy. It's not easy. But I think Chris and I have kind of orchestrated a way to make it happen and make it work, and I'm excited to get them out. I am.
All right, let's go.
Sprout Tee golf tees are biodegradable and look and feel like a wood golf tee, but are designed to swiftly decompose under UV light, minimizing equipment damage and cleanup efforts. With their unique patent-pending manufacturing process, they offer the opportunity to fill Sprout tees with a customized blend of grass seed or mild fertilizer at no additional charge. Tailored to your golf course's exact specifications, their aim is to repurpose plant-based waste and byproducts, diminish plastic tee usage, and curb deforestation for wood tees. Enjoy affordability and eco-friendliness, complete with a complimentary personalized mesh bag with every order. Embrace sustainability on the green. Order now at SproutTeeGolf.com.
Mike, you got to experience something that I was very disappointed I couldn't make. We had to do a little dividing and conquering this past week. Mike was able to go up and play the Rose, the Old Bridge Golf Course. We've been talking about it. It was in our March Madness bracket. It's a new course coming out of Old Bridge. And Mike, you had quite an experience, and I actually told you to shut up because I wanted you to talk more about it on the episode than to me before. So why don't you take the reins here and tell us about your experience there?
Well, I mean, to your point right there about like it being a spot we wanted to go, if you date back to the beginning of March Madness and, our second edition there, the Rose was my number one pick. It was the number one pick I had because I knew that it was a spot I was dying to get to. And I quite frankly thought it might be the winner of the event. They didn't win, but I will say this about that place. The name, it was kind of confusing because I first wanted to learn the name. What is the actual name of this place? So it's called Old Bridge Golf Club at Rose and Lambertson. That's the full name of the golf course. I like to just roll with the Rose because I think that's the common name that everybody knows it as. But in terms of if you were to put the name in the Gin app and post your score, it's got to be Old Bridge Golf Club. So just throw that out there for context. But I will say this. as I was getting there, the day started off where it was unbelievable because if you didn't see the post from from Saturday, I got to play the golf course with Josh Chomik, one of the co-hosts of the Garden State podcast. And I'm sure a lot of people here in New Jersey know exactly who they are, may have seen their clips that go viral nonstop, whether it's TikTok or Instagram. They have 200,000 plus followers on both, where I think TikTok, they have over 400,000 followers.
I'm a huge fan of theirs.
Yeah, so am I.
Yeah.
And Josh has the itch, and he's getting into the game. And him and I have gone back and forth since last summer trying to figure out a date that works. And you know very, very well, it's very hard when it comes to me figuring out a date to make it work. Well, we found one. And Saturday was an unbelievable experience from not only that, seeing Josh get out there, play golf, have the itch, ask a million questions, but then for me to flip it too and kind of pick his brain about how they do things and how they, operate in terms of a podcast. But then the golf course itself, Ryan McDonald, their director of golf, is an unbelievable person. I know I said to you at the top before we recorded, in life, you just sometimes meet really, really good people that are genuine, that are authentic, that are real, that don't just put up this facade of being a nice guy and then talk smack behind your back. This dude is a great, great person. When we got there, I got there, I brought him a little gift bag of things as a thank you from us, whether it was some golf balls with our logo, some ball markers, some stickers, things I had as a thank you for having us out there. But when I say like he escorted Josh and I to the driving range, he got us a bucket of balls. We're out there with two of our buddies playing as a foursome that Ryan took care of us. Everybody on the range knows this guy. So he's not some director of golf that's hiding behind a desk that nobody knows. Different people are coming up to him saying, hey, how are you, pro? How's everything going? Hope you're doing better, because he's struggling a little bit with a back issue. All these people are coming up to him. And I'm like, okay, my instincts and my first impressions of this guy are real. Such a perfect person to be operating that ship basically from the ground up. He's there. He tells me basically from the beginning to the end of the day. There's hardly ever a day he steps out and leaves early because he wants this ship to go in the right direction. And like anything, when you're starting things out, you're all in. And it's a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week job. And my man is killing it there. So you get there, the logo's right there on the entrance as you're driving in. The whole clubhouse, which is really a pro shop with some offices. There is no restaurant there. They're working on getting their liquor license as we speak. So you're not going to get a bar-like feel, but they have a miniature golf course. They have a putting green and a driving range all in this little facility here. That's kind of like, that runs parallel with the first tee. So cool, because it's not only just like when you think about having kids and being able to not only just hit golf balls, but they can play mini golf. They can go on the putting green. And the driving range is right there. The driving range, full. Not an open bay, not an open spot. The damn thing was full at 1:00 in the afternoon. So let that speak enough for itself about what this facility is. And then you got to experience the golf course. Listen, I will say this. It's young. It's not fully matured. The greens can be a little hairy at times, but I will say this. They still rolled very, very good. And I know some people might counter and say, well, Mike, it's not the longest golf course. It only plays 65 from the tips. It's a par 71. I will say this. The greens are super
So hold on,
tricky.
Mike. I'd say this to that. It's a 6,500 yards, par 71. So add another
200 yards if you had
200 yards to add another to make it a par 72, and now you're talking about 67, 68, and you're less talking about it being 6,500 yards. So to me, I think that equates.
Right. And I think some people look at that number right off the bat and say, okay, it's not very long, but then you gotta take in fact that it's only a par 71. But I will say this, listen. So to my point about the greens being a little hairy, they still rolled. But man, oh man, those greens kind of reminded me a little bit of of Union League to some aspect, where it was like up and down. There were some mounds in the green that if you're on the wrong tier or if you didn't know certain spots where to miss it, it could be super difficult. They had some really good runoffs. A little bit, they had, Ryan is from Due Process. The superintendent is from Due Process. So it had a little Due Process-esque look to it in some of the greens. And to Ryan's point, one of the things he had said to me was they just want to make sure that the pace of play they're not known for slow golf. And listen, we played at 2:00 in the afternoon. It was raining, so it wasn't the fastest moving in that aspect, but we got done in a little over 4 hours. I want to say it was like 4:05. We were 4 dudes. We all walked because I think for us to really get to experience a golf course, cart paths, with it raining, they were like questionable whether the carts were going to be allowed on the fairways or frankly even allowed, because not all holes have cart paths. So we didn't want to worry about questioning that. So the 4 of us walked. So we played in just over 4 hours. It wasn't that bad of a round in terms of pace of play. And just seeing all these people out there, everybody out there was so nice. We were behind 2 ladies that were from Union. And at times, listen, we didn't hit the best of shots all the time, and we were in their hole, and they said, "Oh, you guys looking to play with us? You looking to play with us?" And we were joking, having a good time, and the camaraderie at that spot made the experience such a good one, such a good one. And then I can get on the golf course. Listen, if you haven't played this spot yet, it's a must play. I don't really care the driving. I don't care where you are. You need to go experience this spot. I think what Stephen K has done in terms of the architecture is really good. There's ups and downs. It's some holes you can spray it and be perfectly fine. Some holes are tree line. You got long par 3s. You got short par 3s. You got par 5s that are just like you can get there in 2 if you really poke one. But then you got some par 5s like on the back 9 that are protected by great bunkering, little ravines that you don't really know about. So a little bit about the front 9. Listen, I'll give you 2 holes on each 9 for me that really kind of stood out. Number 9, their signature hole.
Hold on, Mike, hold on a sec. Can you give me 2 holes on the front 9 and the back 9 that you're kind of like that resonate to you a little bit more?
Yeah, I would say, listen, I think that the 4th, I kind of figure that's where you wanted me to go, but I'm going to give you 1 on each side because I know you wanted me to give you 2, and then you're going to ask me for all 9 on the front 9, but I'm going to give you 2 holes, 1 on the front, 1 on the back. The 9th hole, super cool par 3. It's 168 yards from the back tee, a big pond right in front, and it's all carried with a super cool green. Kind of slopes from left to right. You got to be on the right tier, just like a lot of these. There's a bank that you got to make sure that you get the ball obviously over the water, above the bank, because any spin, that thing could be trickling right back into the water. It's not the longest, 168 yards, but it is a mind game because you chunk it, you're definitely in the water. And if you hit it long, there's woods over the green. So you got to be pretty damn precise with your tee shot. And the visuals, I think, on a nice sunny day of that hole, as you're leaving the 8th green, there's a big mound. And I'm sure if you took a picture from that big mound overlooking that 9th green, you'd get a super cool picture right there. And I just thought it was a great ending to that 9, because most of the times on an ending to 9s, it's a par 4 or par 5. It was nice that it was like a par 3 and kind of like their signature hole. Yeah. An interesting fact about that place that unfortunately I was not able to accomplish this is there has not been a hole-in-one there yet. I was hopeful that I was the first person to do that, but that record is still open for anybody that wants it. But they do have an albatross already. Whoa. So take that for what it's worth. There has been a 2 on the par 5, but there has there has yet to be a hole-in-one on a par 3. I was hoping to be that guy. Unfortunately, that record gets to live to be another day.
Did the par 3s vary? Like we've talked about quite a bit. This one was 160. Did they have one that played closer to 200 and one that played? Did they have that?
So they had 3 par 3s in the front. From the back tees, the first one was 151. The second one was 194. And the third one was 168. So, to your point, they were. They were all varied in terms of the numbers. So, I mean, listen, you're getting a little bit of everything. It was a par 35 on the front. And then you went to the back nine and it was a par 36. And again, when I think about the back nine, I just thought the back nine was a little more open. It kind of reminded me of Charleston Springs, the back nine, where you could kind of spray the ball. I can never remember which one. Which is the one you go to the right? North?
North.
Yeah, so it reminded me of North. You could kind of spray the ball a little bit. You could go a little bit right or left and still have a shot at the green. So it was a little more open in that aspect. Where the front nine, it was a little more tree lined. You got to keep the ball in your fairway. You got to keep it straight. But I thought the one hole that was, I thought the best hole was the par 5 14th hole. Okay. From the back tees, it played 555. So not short by any stretch. And the bunkering of where they were positioned, I thought was so, so good. Because you had bunkers aligned at all these different spots that were specifically on your second shot. If you were trying to go for the green, you not only had to carry the bunker that left you probably in the 115-yard range to the green, but then also a little ravine that was about 30 yards behind that. So your carry in the air had to be 200 yards plus. Otherwise, you would have found the bunker, as I did. Or if you hit it over the bunker, you didn't have enough air in it, would have found the ravine. So I thought that was such a cool thing in terms of an architecture standpoint of how Stephen K designed that hole. Because you think par fives and you think, listen, I'm just going to rip it up there. I'm going to get close. It's wide open. It's like, no, not on this hole. So I thought that was the best hole on the back nine. In terms of.
You said that was 14?
14. Yep. Yeah. The par 5.
Awesome.
And listen, overall, I thought the day was so good. I really did. I made 5 birdies out there. I one of the funny things before I went out and played, Chomik had said to me at the Garden State is, listen, I'm looking forward to seeing what good golf is. I'd really love for you to put on a show. And not for nothing, I was kind of crapping my pants because you know how it goes. You put pressure on yourself. You're playing with, what I think is a bigger name in the podcast world than us. I'm kind of envious of things that they do and how big they are. And, not only am I picking brain about how their numbers are and what they're doing advertising wise, but now I got to play golf and I got to, it's like I got to kind of put up or shut up right now. You have a golf podcast. You can't be slapping around shooting 95. And I was able, thankfully, to do that. He said to me, like, thanks for putting on a show today. So, I did represent the brand pretty well in that aspect. I was able to go out there and rep the drop. Yep, no problem. Finished with a 1 under par 70. So, it was nice that they got to see what he called like really, really good golf because they don't get to see that often.
Okay. Love that. Well, then I'm glad I didn't get to play because he wouldn't have seen real golf then.
Yeah. So listen, it's a spot that you got to go experience. And I probably could continue to go on a tangent about this place, but it is a must-see spot. It's a really fun spot. The greens are super tricky. Make sure you hit it in the right spot if you go play. But it's a spot that I don't care. I know you talk about the distance because of one of the things that Orson had mentioned. Just go play. You need to go play this spot.
Well, it's in the center of the state. It's rather center. So go out and play it.
Yeah, great spot. Great experience. Great spot. I can't say enough good things about this place.
Yeah, Mike. I mean, it sounds like you had an awesome time and great that you got to, spend some time with Josh and play some good golf. And I need to get there. I know I do. It wasn't just on your list. It's on my list too. So I'm going to be making my way up shortly being, sometime soon. It's also, a shout out to Big Ed's Barbecue. It's right around the corner from a good barbecue spot, Big Ed's up there on 34. So it's right off the corner. So for my bigger fellas that need a beverage and some ribs, you got that right around the corner. So there you go. Mike, let's get into some things that happened in the golf world on Sunday because there was a lot of them, to say the least. The PGA Championship wrapped up. The Mizuho at Liberty National wrapped up. There was a lot going on at both of those. So I don't know where you want to start, but there's any number of places we could start there. I think we need I think you're about to say what I'm about to say. I think we need to start at the one place where that we need to start, because we don't want to make this a tragic episode or anything like that. But I think after hearing the details that came out with the Scottie Scheffler incident and really what happened previously, and I forget the gentleman's name that ended up in the accident and passed away, but I think that we all can agree that is our hearts go out to him, to his family, because that's a real tragic situation to be, thinking that you're going to enjoy a day of golf and then it's tragically taken away. I think we're going to have more details to follow with, exactly what was happening and whatnot. But that was, again, our hearts and thoughts and prayers and all that go to that man and his family. So.
Yeah, I mean, listen, as think about it, guy's retired, volunteering his time at a PGA Championship and golf major, just looking to do some good. And unfortunately, just a wacky circumstance where one of the buses just, obviously the investigation's going on. So, don't want to take anything away from what happened, to him specifically, but man, what a crazy thing.
Yeah. From what I gather, it's dark, it's rainy. People are kind of milling around all over, getting set up. And I would imagine that, it just, someone didn't see someone coming and just, again, accidents do happen. Sometimes they're tragic. So again, thoughts and prayers with that man's family. Let's kind of stay in that same incident, Mike. So then all the chaos is ensuing, right? Again, this is from what's being reported and what we've got so far, right? The chaos ensues. Scottie Scheffler is told he can go through, and then another cop jumps on his car and says, no, you can't go. That's what I've gotten from it so far. And then either way, Scottie gets taken away in handcuffs. And not to, quick side note, the memes that have come out from that are extraordinary. They have done a really good job. The internet has won at Scottie's expense, and hopefully nothing comes out of Scottie's incident from this. But, dude stretched in jail and shot a 66 that day.
He watched ESPN from jail.
He's watching himself get arrested while he's in an orange jumpsuit, stretching for his round. I mean, what is going on? That's wild to think about. So he's in jail. There's all this commotion. Turns out that because of all the commotion, all the tee times get pushed back.
Well, they got pushed back because of the fatal accident, not because of Scottie.
No. I'm not saying because of Scottie. Okay, because of the accident and all the commotion that was happening in the morning. Yeah, they had to they got to clean up everything and they got to get everything under control, and it takes a little while at those kind of things, obviously. And then the president of Valhalla goes and bails him out of jail, brings him, and he warms up a little bit and gets on the range. The whole timing of it is crazy. And I know that while it was going on, you were hearing rumors that did the president delay it just so Scottie could make his tee time and then went and bail him out? Does he have that kind of pull in Louisville? Just wild stuff. I don't think anything that we've ever seen or heard of ever. I mean, that's the wildest start to a week there could possibly be.
Yeah, I mean, listen, that whole thing, when that went down Friday morning, I thought it was like a joke. I thought it was like a little ha, no big deal. But then Jeff Darlington of ESPN put out the video, and I was like, oh my God, this is real.
He's in handcuffs getting put in the back of a car.
All Friday morning, I am glued to my phone, checking this, checking that. What's going on? Is he going to make his tee time? Are they not? Then you could see the rules about special circumstances allow. Would they put that in place? Will he be back? And then for him just to go out and shoot 66, you got to think that sometimes in one of those situations, that's when adrenaline wins out. You're just so I can't believe legitimately 5-6 hours ago, I was in handcuffs in jail in an orange jumpsuit. This is not some, madhouse nightmare that I'm going through right now. This is reality.
The thought of Scottie pre-round stretching in an orange jumpsuit in an 8x8 cell literally is the funniest thing that I could possibly think. I mean, he is
comical,
straight comedy. I mean, is there a nicer person on the PGA Tour? I mean, he's He's a family man. He's relatively keeps to himself. He even said, like, I like to keep my personal life and my public life very separate. He's very religious individual to the point, and I know we're going to get to this, the guy on his bag Saturday is the PGA Tour's chaplain. So, like, super deeply religious man. And then this guy gets arrested for it. It's just, the whole thing is just insane. It's just a comedy of errors that just seems to happen.
Yeah.
With Scottie. Yeah.
And if you think about how the whole day went, so he goes and shoots 66 on Friday after all this goes down. Ted Scott has to leave on Saturday because his daughter's graduating, and he goes to the graduation. So that's why the chaplain was on the bag, who's a good friend of his. Scottie goes out and shoots 73 on Saturday. Ted Scott shows back up on Sunday, and Scottie's back in the mix. I'm not saying that Scottie can't shoot 65 to get to 21 under. I'm not, because frankly, he might be able to do that. And we probably think that's a huge possibility. But you just got to think that, like, man, is Ted Scott that valuable to Scottie Scheffler when you sit there and look at things? Now, I know Scottie came out the next day and said, listen, I just was overwhelmed that, I think it all hit me on Saturday. Like, wow, like that this really did happen to me. And that's probably when you'd really lean heavy on your caddy or your friend in that type of situation to, like, kind of get you through it. He didn't have Ted Scott there. And I know we all want to rant on Ted Scott and how much money he's making, and he's just cashing checks nonetheless. But I think he brings value to Scottie Scheffler. And I think, not to knock the chaplain and not to knock religion and all that nine, but maybe Ted Scott is his go-to guy that really, really helps steer that ship pretty damn well. So I know that Scottie didn't win. It will be an absolute riot if Scottie wins the British Open and the U.S. Open, and we look back at this one police officer and say, dude, you could have been the reason why Scottie lost this tournament.
Right? And Mike, I think you bring up a good point. I don't want to take anything away from Ted Scott, because obviously the caddy-player relationship is super important. I don't want to discredit anything you just said, but I do think that Scottie played Friday almost in shock and just let he had no emotions out there. He just like they talk about the compartmentalization of what he did, and it is impressive. But then I think once he was able to, like, he went from jail to the driving range to the putting green to the first tee.
You ever do that?
Once he's able, I've never done that. No, I've never been arrested. So, it's again, something Scottie and I don't have in common, but it's one of those things where, like, I think that once he was able to decompress from the day and kind of understand and let that kind of wash over him, I don't even know if Ted Scott's able to keep him from shooting a 73 on Saturday. Like, I just think that the emotions of what happened Friday finally, like, again, not saying he was in shock, but almost like that finally decompressed from everything. Like, he was just like, this is what I have to do, and just let all those years of practice. It's like, okay, I hit golf ball now and hit golf ball. And then once he was able to, like, wrap his mind around what happened, I think that's why. And I don't want to discredit the chaplain. And I know Ted Scott's a huge help to Scottie, but I don't know if Ted Scott is that powerful to stop that, because I really think that it's one of those things where it's like it takes you a little while to, once something traumatic happens, sometimes it takes you a little bit to truly understand it, and then you're like, oh boy, and now it's the shaking, now it's the thought process, now it's all that stuff. So
fair point. So I mean, listen, the whole thing was an absolute riot. That was a crazy thing, which led it to Sunday, which, listen, I thought Sunday was one of the best days of golf. I thought back and forth the whole way.
I'd argue for sports. I mean, you had two, not a basketball podcast, but we had 2 Game 7s in the NBA and the PGA Championship major with a loaded field to start the day.
Yeah, I mean, and the whole thing going down the stretch, Bryson, Victor Hovland, Xander trying to close out the whole thing. Like, Scottie making a little bit of a push there, but, like, that final 3-hole stretch there down the wire was just, like, unbelievable. And I'm not a Xander guy whatsoever. I always thought he was one of those guys that, plays well Thursday through Saturday, chokes it out, doesn't finish tournaments. I can't say I'm not happy for the guy that he made the putt on the 18th hole and that thing kind of lipped in. Let's be honest, it wasn't center cut. But I'm happy
Did he make it?
I'm happy he won his first major. Are you saying so?
Yeah. Did he make it? Did he make the putt?
Yeah. Oh yeah, he made the putt.
Okay. Doesn't matter how he made it then. Just made it.
But I was rooting for Bryson.
I know you were.
I would have loved to see. I think that adds drama to golf. I think it adds for more topics for us to discuss. And Xander's just a blah guy. He's a blah guy. I don't care what anybody says. Listen, for Bryson being a live guy, don't tell me you didn't think the entire crowd was behind Bryson. It was everybody. Everybody was saying Bryson. I didn't hear one person rooting like crazy for Xander, Hovland, Morikawa. Nobody. Bryson was making birdie after birdie, pumping his fist. Kids were standing up. He's losing his mind. Gotta love that. That's why I miss Bryson on the PGA Tour.
We do. I just, Mike, there's something about Bryson that's likable, right? Like he went over, he made his way off the range, and I actually went to Google Maps, looked at Google Earth to see how far away exactly he was from hitting balls as he's watching Xander make the putt. To go to kind of where he had to go, it's not an easy walk, right? He had to go out of his way, I think, to go congratulate Xander where he did. And they even said it on the broadcast, like that's a classy move by Bryson. Maybe other golfers are doing that. I don't know if everybody is. Maybe it's behind the scenes usually, but Bryson, it was a classy move. Bryson gets everybody excited. The fist bumps when he's playing good golf. It's fun to watch. You kind of like that little. It's almost a little Happy Gilmore-ish, where like he gets people riled up 100%. There's all that likability with Bryson. I can't get past the live stuff. I can't yet. Until we have a joint united tour, I can't be fully Bryson. I'm always going to be anybody but the live guys first. Now, to that point, Xander is a blah. Like my game is going to speak for itself. I'm not going to have any personality, and I agree. He is a rather blah. But again, for me, it's anybody but the live guys first, and then I'd have a pecking order of where. But I will also say again, Bryson put on a show. Xander put on a show on Sunday. Like they both played excellent golf, and
Hovland played well.
You look at some of the other guys that were playing well, like Sahith, Colin, couldn't get anything going. Even JT couldn't really put a run together on Sunday. You look at like how truly hard it is to play great golf under that kind of pressure, when you need to play great golf, when you need, like, again, this is now the second time that Xander has shot 62 on an opening major. Well, didn't he do it the opening round of the U.S. Open as well?
Last year.
But what my point is, it wasn't the weekend, right? It was a Thursday or Friday. So as that pressure ramps up, he did it again, shot 62. As it ramps up, he did finally show that he can handle that pressure. He can make the next step. And we saw for some of these other guys, exactly how hard it is. They just can't do it.
Yeah, so listen, he got the job done. And listen, you got to give credit where credit's due. And as much as I was not rooting for Xander to win, would have loved to see Hovland get his first over Xander. I would have loved to see Bryson create some more entertaining drama that us and this media quote business enjoy. Like I would have loved to see that, because I think that makes Pinehurst even more interesting, knowing that Bryson's already won a U.S. Open. Like he's coming in there, he's hot. Like nonetheless, he's still playing good golf. But listen, it was a great Sunday, and it's amazing how golf continues just to be like the leading thing in the news. Scottie Scheffler, Bryson going crazy on the weekend. Like for us, it's great. It's great, and it just trickled here into New Jersey.
Before we get into the New Jersey of it all, Mike, I do want to give a shout out to Chris Gotterup. Chris missed the cut, if you weren't following along, but I think that the value and the experience he got in his first major, I think is going to be huge. And again, we just mentioned some of these guys, like JT couldn't make it happen on a Sunday. Sahith couldn't get it done on Sunday. I think that, again, that's a guy for me this weekend. he jumped exponentially on my. I thought even like his full swing episode, I was like, he's okay. Like just knowing that about him and then watching him play a little bit more, like I liked him exponentially. I think that was what he needed. He needs to learn how to do it on Sunday. The same way Chris needs to learn how to do it now in a major, that it's different than a regular tour event. The same way that like JV is a little harder than varsity. Varsity is a little harder than college level is harder than varsity level, and then Corn Ferry is harder than college. And the same way you keep moving up, he's going to continue to learn. And again, I think that he's going to take away the value that he got this weekend at a major.
Yeah, and he's back at it this week at the Charles Schwab, so it'd be nice to get him back out there playing. And listen, we could go through a list of names that didn't make the cut: John Rahm, Tiger Woods, Ludwig. Like we go through a lot of names.
Brings up Tiger.
A lot of guys' names that didn't make the cut. Phil Mickelson. So to Chris's point, like, listen, he had I bet you he was overwhelmed on Thursday, but listen, if he keeps getting stints and opportunities like that, listen, on to the next one. But
yeah. So as we were about to get into, some big things happened in New Jersey golf as well. Nelly Korda is continuing her reign of terror. She is on fire. 6 out of 7 tournaments she's won. She won this weekend at Michelle Wee West event, the Mizuho at Liberty National, which, Mike, you and I got to go play just a few weeks ago and see the course and kind of see the conditions it was going to be in. And they were starting to put up grandstands and all that stuff. She's so good at golf, dude. She's so good at golf. It's incredible. It's really, she's so good. When she misses a shot, it's like, wow, she missed that one, or wow, that wasn't within 5 feet.
Yeah, listen, she's hot right now in every aspect of the word. I mean, she's like, Katniss Everdeen right now, the girl on fire. I mean, I don't know how else you like that movie reference, by the way, too. I kind of slipped that in, went way over your head. You don't even know what I'm talking about, probably.
I don't know anything that you just said. No, and I'm the movie guy here.
Yeah, listen, you might want to get your thing up on Hunger Games over there, but the way Nelly Korda won when it comes to golf in the Garden State, I do want to give us the assist because I think we made sure that the golf course stayed pristine the time that we were there. We made sure not to hit it in the spots that she was going to hit it in. We made sure not to make the putts and make the hole any dents around the hole. So I'd like to give us the assist on that.
Mike, I'll say this. I saw a shot she took on, it was on the back. I think it was 14 or what's the one after the par 3? Beautiful par 3. That's 14, right? So 15.
16's a nice rock. Is like the rock hole. The
rock hole. So 15. I saw that her. Oh, maybe it was Saturday. I saw her hitting from there. Anyway, we were hitting from nearly the same spot, and I hit no grass on my shot just to make sure. I knew she was going to be in the same general area. I didn't want to mess up the grass for her. So. Happy to do it for you, Nelly. Glad we could make some things happen for you. So it was really, really exciting to see from our end, Mike, see the course and then see the women play it and kind of how they played it, how it looked, how difficult some of the shots are that they pull off. Like, even if we're in the same spot, you and I hit a drive and we're in the middle of the fairway and a green is or a pin is in the same spot. Obviously, you're better than I am, so you have a little bit more to do with it. But I'm just amazed when they know exactly where to hit it. Like, they know that there's a ridge there. They know that ridge is whatever. So they need to have it bounce at that yardage, bounce one more time, check, and just trickle out, and it'll catch the top of the ridge then and roll. Just the whole thing is just, it's incredible to watch how perfect they can be. And I think seeing the course like we did brought another layer to the onion for me.
Yeah, and just think about it. I mean, when you think about Michelle Wee West in that tournament there at Liberty National, the winners she's had in the first 2 years of this tournament going on there, I mean, Rozang, and then you got Nelly Korda. I mean, you probably can't ask for two better winners of this event in 2 years of having it. And I think, again, that just gives credit to what New Jersey golf has to offer. When these cream of the crop LPGA studs are coming in here, loving what they see, playing well. Michelle and the sponsors are taking care of them. This tournament's going to be a fixture for a very, very long time.
No doubt. They do it so well, too, between the accommodations in the city and all that they do to take care of them, making sure that it's like, and she even said it, she's like, I want to make this like a PGA Tour event, and she very clearly has. It's really great to see. All right, guys, that's going to be it for Mike and I here. We're going to close it down here, but make sure you stay tuned Thursday for our interview with Eric Stevens and Chester Patterson, the New Jersey 4-ball winners. Mike, a quick little preview. You weren't able to jump on that one, but I had just an awesome time with them. They are two really, really great dudes, super down to earth. You talked about Ryan at the Rose. I mean, these two guys were just, I mean, I think the interview went for like 45 minutes, and I probably talked to them for an hour and 15, bunch before, even more after. It was really just two really great guys. So make sure you give that a watch on Thursday, or give it a listen on Thursday. Till then, cheers.